My name's Wendy Nicholson, and I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not a registered dietitian, but I have almost 40 years of experience being on diets, learning about diets, reading about diets, and learning as much as I could about how to be successful at dieting. Now, I did not have success until 2021 when I finally lost 80 pounds and I figured out how to not yo-yo diet. Since then, I've written a book, I've written 2 workbooks, I have this YouTube video, I have podcasts, blog, newsletters, courses, workshops that are coming out soon, all to share my experience and to help other people on their journey to weight loss and on their journey to recovering from being yo-yo dieters. I hope by sharing my story that you can find tidbits of information, tips, ideas, keys, steps, all of these things that you can refer to and say, yes, I'm going to try that and see if it works for you. This is my experience. I am one person out of 8 billion, and this worked for me. And hopefully some of what I share can help you too. When we talk about transforming our body, we usually think about fitness, where somebody has a before and after picture. And it's usually fitness related in there because we have this idea in our society that the fitness and the getting in shape has to be united with losing weight. And there's a lot of people out there that say you can get in shape and lose weight in X amount of days or X amount of weeks or months. I could not do this, and I tried it many times. I had tried many times to combine exercise and losing weight. It always failed because exercise was hard for me. It was not something I grew up doing. I did not grow up in a family of exercisers. It was seen as a waste of time. Now, it's not that we didn't exercise, but it wasn't for the sake of having a good body, getting in shape and maximizing our muscles. It was in the pursuit of something else. It was if we were going canoeing as a family, or we were going bike riding or gardening. It was, we would be getting in shape, but that was not the point of it. It was for this other reason. So I never had that as my upbringing. I never saw my parents run. I never saw them exercising, to get in shape ever. I did not grow up with that. And I envied people who had parents who were athletic or who were getting in shape and were taking care of their bodies. I didn't have that example. I'm not going to use that as an excuse now that I've learned what I've learned, and so I am getting in shape. That is why this chart is on my wall, and I'm going to keep it there until I get in shape or until the 140 days has passed. And even if I get 80% of the way there, then that's 80% of the way further than if I didn't track it. And I proved that because the last 2 years I've been trying to get in shape since I lost the 80 pounds and nothing has stuck. Nothing has worked. So I thought, okay, I'm going to put into practice the same technique where I have a goal. It's a doable goal. It's not too hard. It's not the 30 days or the 90 days. This is 5 months, 140 days. And if I only get 80% of the way there, I'm 80% ahead of if I didn't have that goal. And then I will work on the next 20%. When I was losing the last 50 pounds out of the 80 pounds, I did track my weight every single day on a different type of chart. I tracked my weight from the weigh scale, and then I also had another chart that tracked every 5 pounds. And I figured that I would make it by the August of 2021. Took 2 more months to finally lose the last few pounds to reach 130. And now I'm down to 125 over the last 2 years, but 130 was my goal, was my happy, was the goal weight that I had aimed for. So knowing that, yeah, it could take a couple more months, that's okay because it's out of the grand scheme of things. At least I reached the goal. And if I hadn't had an end date, if I didn't have that goal weight to aim for, then like every other yo-yo diet I had been on, I would not have reached it. I am 100% positive that that was one of the keys that made it stick, that made it work, is that I had this goal and I kept track and I forgave myself when I didn't reach the milestones. If I'm going to miss a day of cardio or miss a day of doing one of these exercises, even if it's just 5 minutes a day, and the cardio I'm aiming for half an hour a day, if I miss a day, it's okay, because I'm looking at the big picture. As long as I get to here and I have 80% of the days filled in and 80% of the way to my goal, that's 80% ahead of if I didn't track it. Tracking the weight and having a visual reminder, I really think, is one of the most important things. We're so used to having our phones. We're so used to having our phones to track things on, and the apps are great. But what happens when we put our phone away? We forget. The same idea with out of sight, out of mind can go the opposite direction. So out of sight, out of mind with carbs and sugar, when I took those out of my cupboard, took them out of my fridge, put them in the storage room, or just stopped buying them, that worked because I wasn't seeing them anymore. They weren't on the counter. They weren't in the cupboards. When I opened the door of the cupboard, nothing in there would tempt me to overeat. Nothing in there were things that I would binge eat on. So out of sight, out of mind worked for that. This is the opposite. I want it in sight. I want it on my mind. I want to remind myself that I have this goal. It takes a while. It took 2 years for me to think this through and say, of course, this is so logical. This is a no-brainer. I don't have to have willpower. I don't have to have willpower to make me get up and do the exercise and to have it on my brain. It's out of my brain. It's on the wall. And it's just a visual reminder to say, today, what am I going to do? And I'm excited about it now because I know I'm going to reach it, or 80% of the way there. I know, because that's just a little bit every day. It's not perfect. This is not a perfect system. I am not one that is stuck in my ways. Even though I'm 53, yes, I'm stuck in my ways in certain things, but I don't want to be. And I'm not going to hold myself to such a high standard that if I miss a couple days, that I'm going to throw the whole thing out. And that's what I used to do when I was yo-yo dieting. The weigh scale, I'd get on the weigh scale and it would show that I had gained a pound in a day, and I thought, forget this. This diet doesn't work. Bang, I'm off the yo-yo diet again, or off that diet. So I'm yo-yoing down. Maybe because of how I was losing the weight, and when I would see the weigh scale go up and down, but then I'd look and see within a week, I was always going down a little bit. Maybe that has helped me to have a little bit more forgiveness for myself, or it's not even a forgiveness issue. Have a little bit more lenience and more flexibility and realize this is a process every day. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to, be sick or something's going to come up, but it's okay. I'll just get back on track. And it's okay, 80%. That's my goal, 80%. If 80% of them are filled in, that's great, because I'm further ahead than if I didn't track it. Visual reminders. Out of sight, out of mind. For this, it's the opposite. I want it in sight and on my mind, or visually reminding me to do it. And I don't have to set a reminder on my phone, because it's right here on my bedroom wall. I wake up in the morning and there it is. This is also my office where I am living right now, so it's around me all the time. I'm not beating myself up about this. It's okay. It's okay if I get there. I'm further ahead. I'm sleeping better even after these few days of me tracking it regularly. I'm more motivated, and thankfully right now the season here in Canada is in the fall, so I love going out in the morning, seeing the fall perennial flowers, seeing the leaves starting to turn color. So it's motivating me to get out in the mornings. Now, it hasn't rained in 6 days. So once it starts raining, I might think, oh, okay, I'm not going to go out. So then I'll try to figure another way to do cardio in the house, whether it's running in place, walking in place, anything like that. So this is the cardio side, and this is the, the body side, where I've got the arms. I've got the abs, arms, butts, back and legs. And those things I am going to work on. And as I had said in one of my other videos, for me, the determination when I know I'm in shape, and this is my goal by 140 days, is that I will be able to do 10 sit-ups, be able to play a game of tennis, and be able to hike up 289 steps. We live near a cliff, and there's a stairway that has that many steps here. And so that's my goal. And that's when I know I'm going to be in good shape, especially the sit-up part, because I always have had a goal of a flat stomach. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but at least I have a goal of that, and we'll see how it comes. So I'm documenting this partly for myself to stay accountable and to show that it is possible to do little steps, little daily things in order to get you to your goal. Maybe your goal is 5 minutes of cardio a day. Maybe you're recovering from surgery. Maybe you have mobility issues. Maybe it's sitting in a chair and doing some leg lifts. And you have this goal, and it's a little bit and a little bit, and it builds and it builds and it builds. Think of ideas of ways you can make a visual chart. Get a piece of paper and a ruler, get some colored pens, colored crayons, anything like that. Put it somewhere in your house to remind yourself, and every single day do a little tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And that is going to get you further along than if you didn't track it. Like I say, I'm not ditching the apps. The apps are great. I can use it to count my steps if I want to, which I have used in the past where I had a goal of 5,000 steps or 10,000 steps a day. And those are great, but there's something about having it visual in a place that is visual that for me always seems to work better long term. And this is the third time I've done this. Like I say, I did it with my weight loss. I'm doing it with my YouTube videos to remind myself every day and to show the progress. And now I'm doing it with getting in shape. I also have other charts around my walls, charts for things that I'm learning. And every day, if I've learned something on that topic, I'll just color a bar in. I like colors. I love colors. And I like to gamify it, make it fun. It's easy to lose that sense of fun and games as we grow up, and to bring that back in and say, hey, it's fun to get the colored marker out and color that in, and it gamifies it. It makes it into a game. So think of ways to make habits that you want to change into a game and change them. I've changed things a lot over the years when I wanted to change a habit. And if it wasn't working, even after a few days, I'd change something else, but I didn't change the end goal, whatever it was I was wanting to do. Now, it never worked with my other diets, but I did it in other areas of my life. But for the diet thing, I really felt having this chart really worked well. If you want to learn more about my story, I have a book on Amazon called Weight Loss Success: How I Lost 80 Pounds with Intermittent Fasting and the Low Carb Diet. I have 2 workbooks in 2 different sizes, which have 12 different weeks of things that you can journal about or that you can fill in, charts, all of those kind of things. And feel free to cut up those books. If you get those workbooks, cut them up, put them on the wall. There's some charts that you could actually put on the wall also. The goal is to have an end date. The goal is to not continue to do this. I hope someday you won't have to watch my videos because you will have reached your goal weight, and then you're going to be telling other people how you did it. And everybody's story is different. Everybody's weight loss story is going to be different. But I hope that me telling you my methods, what worked for me, the strategies that worked for me, will help you in your own weight loss journey and goal of getting healthier. I am more healthy now than any other time that I can remember in my life. And I've eaten healthier in the last 2 years than I've ever eaten in my life. And I feel healthier, even though I'm 53 and my body is not where it would have been if I had done this in my 20s. But I feel so healthy because I eat so healthy. I drink healthy. I'm 95% completely whole foods, clean eating, 1 ingredient foods, and almost no processed foods at all. And it's worth it. It's not always fun. It's not always fun, but I allow myself that 5%. If I'm eating out at a restaurant, I eat whatever is put in front of me. I eat what I order. I'm not picky about that. I'm lucky I don't have food allergies. So if I eat out at a restaurant and there's a hamburger, I eat the hamburger bun. I used to, when I was losing the weight, I wouldn't have the hamburger bun. Now that I've reached my goal weight and I'm able to mostly eat the same foods because I'm cooking mostly from scratch at home, then when I'm eating out, I don't limit it. Now I don't order desserts. I don't eat donuts. I don't eat any breads other than the hamburger buns at this point. But I guess about 5 months ago, I did go to an Italian restaurant and I had one piece of bread. Then when they bring you the big bread basket, and I had some pasta. So it's random. It's not very often. Most of the time I'm eating meat, vegetables, cooked vegetables, salads, fruits, nuts, dairy, and olive oil and ghee, which is melted butter. So I don't eat seed oils unless I'm eating at a restaurant when I know they've used canola and those kinds of oils. But it's mostly just one ingredient foods. The food looks like it was originally. It's one ingredient. It's not a processed food that's gone through factories. That is what has helped me maintain my weight. That's what helped me lose the weight and what I'm still doing to maintain the weight. It's not as fun. I have to find other ways to find enjoyment other than through that cinnamon bun and through that cookie and that chocolate bar and that ice cream and that donut. Those used to bring me pleasure. Those used to give me the dopamine hit. Those used to feed my sugar addiction. And those aren't in my life anymore. But I'd way rather feel the way I do, not have acne, have thicker hair, not have stomach aches, have low blood pressure or regular blood pressure. Like I don't have any of the health problems I used to have. It's worth giving up those foods so that I can feel the way I do. It's really worth it. And so I've had to change the things that I find enjoyment in, change my lifestyle, change my habits. I drive past that drive-in restaurant. I drive past it and I go home, or I go to the grocery store and I buy foods that are better for me to eat and make me feel better and make me be able to maintain this weight. And I find it's worth it. It is a lifestyle change, but it's worth it. I found it so much more worth it, and I'm going to keep doing it because I feel so much better. And I'm hoping it will extend my life a little bit more than if I was still obese. And there is scientific proof to prove that people who are obese don't live as long as people who are not obese. And so I'm hoping this extends my life a little longer. If it does, that's great. If I've already done a lot of damage, which I had because I had the cancer and stuff, I know that's, now I know what I know. And I'm grateful for every day that I can wake up and be healthy and try to help other people be healthy too and lose the weight. Whew. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. I know I go down these rabbit holes. I know I sort of talk off topic. I never use a script, by the way, because I feel like I want my brain to be saying what is on my mind. I feel like I get in the zone when I'm talking in these videos, and now I'm extracting out the audio, so I have the podcast, and I just let whatever is on my mind and I share that. So I don't script anything, but I have, decades of experience to draw on. But I do sometimes go off on tangents, so bear with me. But I hope that I have something to share with you, and I hope that you can take something away from this. And don't forget to do your own research. And you can read my disclaimers on my website. It's weightlosssuccess.co/disclaimers. Thanks for watching and listening. Bye.